So I've spent a couple days with Logseq, and it's different and interesting. I've messed a little bit with Obsidian and Vimwiki, and I would put this closer to Vimwiki, but with some improvements versus Obsidian. There were some paradigms that I'm still not quite like all up on, but there's certain things that I found that I think I can get behind with Logseq. So, my forced dark mode is breaking some things, obviously, but you know what? That's okay. So, Logseq, kind of like Obsidian, relies on markdown files. It's pretty much plain markdown files. That's all the way it stores all of the files. So, if I were to go into where did I store that? Logseq. See right there? We've got a bunch of, what is it? Markdown files. Yeah. And somehow it links everything together like that. So I can sit here and go through here. And it's really, really basic. So it could work with something like Vimwiki. And there are plugins and configurations to make it play nice with Obsidian as well. So you can use both Logseq and Obsidian. The difference with Logseq, though, versus Obsidian is the client is actually open source. So I think if I go... It could very well be that Obsidian is also... Can I spell today? I've been spelling a lot today. So we can go in, and if we got the community, where is it? Got the download, our GitHub right here. So we've got our Obsidian releases. I think they're probably pretty close to the same. Theme list, releases. Okay, yeah. It's not... Oh, the client itself is not open source. It looks like... Help headless. But there are various things you can work with in Obsidian that a lot of people like. It's got maps and things like that. But the client is not open source, and that's some people's gripe with it. Logseq is nice in that it is actually the whole thing itself is open source. It's got privacy as a first class feature. It does have the option of an implemented sync that you can use with it. So there is that, and it is pretty plain, kind of like Obsidian, but I think a lot plainer in a lot of ways. But it has a lot of other things that enhance it and make it a lot more complex, it feels like, in many ways. So if we go and open... Gonna try and avoid any accidental not deleted things that I should have deleted, but anyway. So when we pull it up, I've already configured it a little bit. It's got themes and everything else. So I've got a theme plugin installed, and that's about it. So if I go up to here, I can go to settings, and here's my one theme, the bullet journal theme. That's it. I wanted something dark, and it lets you configure the colors. But it's got a slew of different plugins for different appearances and adding some extra functionality, or even Anki, if that's your thing. Git, I believe that should allow you to manage it with, inside of it. So, yeah, it syncs through Git, all of your notes. So you have that built-in Vim shortcuts. Dang. I didn't realize this. Had I known that? Dang. So yeah, it can be even more like Vimwiki if you want it to. Just by that. And what it does automatically or auto-magically, since is at midnight every day, it starts a new journal entry. So if I go back to my documents here, go to Logseq, you can see that I've got these different journal files, but the way it organizes it is all basically in one scroll. And I've got different references. This is actually a link So this embed here is a link that references this bullet here. So it runs off of the paradigm of blocks in networking everything together. So every one of these bullet points is its own little block. So if I click on the bullet point here, it shows this up. And I can see where that block is actually linked elsewhere. So if I go back to journals here, I can even open up this one and it will show me the blocks below that. So I can go into here and it will go from there. And then I can always go back through the breadcrumb or up at the journals up top. Now you'll notice that I've got these different hashtags as well in here, and that's a sorting thing that a lot of people like to use. And it's very common, but it basically is a page link, much like Vimwiki and a couple other things, but you've got two main ways to make page links, create new pages, link to pages, and things like that. What's nice is I can click it, and I can see here that it actually lists out the other places that reference this particular link that I've made, or this particular page is what they're called. You've got pages and then blocks. Inside of pages are multiple blocks, and pages are how you sort out blocks pretty much. I can go to contents here, and you can see that I've got a couple different links. So I've got like maybe a studies block here that I can go into and go from there. I can click on here and it will go to this one here, and you can see it's linked from contents there. Also got that if I want to pull it up, and it has obviously popped it out into the recent section here. If I check out the graph view, you can see that I've got a very basic graph, and it lists all the links, much like Obsidian, to where things connect to. And I can change what nodes will show up where, and so on and so forth. I can search through things and what have you. It's actually pretty cool how it sorts it out. So like this one, I didn't have to add a block here. It would have just shown these had I left it plain. And then I've also got various unlinked references that it'll show there, but that's whatever. So if I go back to the journals, you can see it's a big long scroll, but that's not the only thing that it does. You've got whiteboards. So whiteboards are just a way to, in essence, mind map everything out. You can select things, move things around, and things like that, and you can have these blocks linked to blocks in your other sections here. So if I were to add a block here, I can search through blocks, and I can go and search maybe for, oh, maybe not. Let's do Logseq. Need more time, and you can see that it links to the block here. And if I mouse over it properly, I can actually click here, and it will take me to that block that it links to. But if I go in here, it's also got a lot more rich features as well. So it can load embeds for web pages, and this is a web page that I thought I could play with. Yeah, see right there. So I can sit here and go through here, and it's actually interactable. So if I can zoom out a little bit. Oh, wait, I need to grab the hand here. Anyway, it's got flashcards as well that you can make cards with, but I haven't taken advantage of that feature yet, but it's there. Here's all our pages. So if I go in, I can add another block here. And let's say, so this is actually a link to a separate image otherwise. So I can go in here, and if I wanted to, it's not just got features for, what is it? For images, and embedding like entire pages. I can take individual posts if I want to and plant them in here. It should eventually, I would think, load up a preview of it. and it doesn't seem to want to. Other thing I can do, I can go into here. What do I want to grab from here? Can click the share right here, and I can copy that. I can paste that in, and it's auto-detected a YouTube video. So if I go here, it will actually show me a proper embed, unlike some things. So I wonder if I remove that. What it will do. Nope. Doesn't want to for some reason. So let me go check what I did over here at the whiteboard. If I check that. What I've done is I've added the block in here. I can go here, new block, and well, draw, highlight, eraser, connector, text. So whiteboard has a few other things like connectors and things like that. So I can take this and mark it over here. I can take a highlighter and mark that there. I can take a drawer and circle that there. It's pretty decently rich on stuff. Let me see what I am lacking here. So I want to paste that in there. See, that's what I needed to do. So now what it'll do is it'll load an embed of a specific tweet in, because I actually pasted it in correctly. So it's got various feature-rich embed features that are pretty nifty, to include the images and links to other blocks as well. So I could literally link to a separate block if I wanted to somewhere. Well, if I take a reference, I can take like this one, I think. Copy page URL, journals, go into here. I can paste that there, and it doesn't want to work. I can go in here and grab, let's see. Yeah. Anyway, it also has export options. You've got a couple different export options. This one's going to export it as a web page, basically, or a PNG file. We can export the graph here, and we've got different export options, OPML, standard markdown, and what have you, public pages. We can import stuff from standard markdown. We've got our, you've seen the themes. You can go in here. We've got our bullet journal coffee, dark, and so on. It's more feature-rich than I probably gave it credit for, and like they said on their webpage, if you give it time, you may find your workflow and how well it works for you. Again, everyone's going to be different, but you can see how much the even basic features may be able to help organize things a little bit for you. And if Obsidian didn't work for you, maybe this will work for you. But at the same time, I still have a feeling, for me, there are certain things that I need the pen and paper for. But when it comes to linking and things, I think Logseq does a really good job, and it's open source as well. So it's got a lot of things running for it. And there's an Android application as well. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.